Meet Siv Ngesi, a dynamic and versatile performer who has made a lasting impact on the South African entertainment industry. With a thriving career as a sought-after comedian, popular television presenter, prolific actor, MC, and producer, Siv's talents have garnered him numerous accolades and recognition. From his captivating stage performances to his appearances in acclaimed films like Invictus and Long Walk to Freedom, Siv's charm and versatility have captivated audiences both at home and abroad. With a passion for comedy and a knack for producing successful shows, Siv continues to shine as he takes on new projects and solidifies his position as one of South Africa's brightest stars. I'm so excited to talk to him today. So, Siv, welcome to Undeniably You.
Great to be here.
Thank you for taking time. I know you have a very busy schedule, so this is special. Also, this is us catching up after we don't know how many years, but
quite a long time.
Yeah. I think every time we try to meet, something happens. Also, every time we've tried to have this podcast, it's me. I'm the problem.
It's all good.
Taylor Swift, insert.
Accountability.
Yeah, you just finished The Woman King, right? That's on Netflix right now. When did you shoot that?
I shot that about 2 years ago. It just moved to Netflix right now, but it was on big screen and it was pretty great. And yeah, it was a great experience.
I recently watched it. It's phenomenal.
Thank you.
Such a great show. Yeah. Well done.
Thank you.
What was the experience like?
It was one of the first big things that was shot during COVID. So I think making it was quite a terrible experience, to be truthfully honest, in the sense of, COVID tests every day, separating. We didn't get much time to enjoy it and be in the moment. But it was just an unbelievable experience. The final product really has blown my mind. So it's doing very well and people who see it really love it.
Yeah. Well done. That's great. I mean, I can imagine just shooting in COVID, like all the procedures you have to. It's not like a family, and that's usually what happens on set, right? You feel like this family environment. So tell me what you were like as a kid.
I think I've always known I'm special. I know that sounds like the weirdest thing someone can say. I was raised as the youngest boy. My mother treated me like I was God's gift to humanity, but with a lot of accountability and a lot of discipline. My grandfather, I was the first grandson. So I've always been told I'm special and I'm different. My mother just was able to be my guide, to be able to go, you're special, but you have to be accountable and have responsibilities. So that's why for me, I find it quite like getting positive feedback for things for me is always like, yeah, but obviously I give my best and I should achieve what I want.
Know that,
yeah. And I think it's an interesting thing to be able to even say that out loud, but I've always been drilled to be able to give my best and be excellent and thrive to achieve.
I think it's important to own that too. If you know, you don't want to hide away from something that's so intuitive to yourself.
But I've always known I'm different and special, but I've always known that it's not for everyone. And that's why I learned from a very early age that I don't give a fuck what people think. It's none of my fucking business what people think.
I love that.
I think it's been quite an interesting balance between. So I'm pretty much there. And the older I get, the more I get to learn about myself and the less F's I give.
Where were you born?
I was born in Gugulethu, a township here in Cape Town.
I didn't know you were from Cape Town. For some reason, I always thought you were from Joburg.
Yeah, because people who live in Joburg think only people who are successful and confident and cocky are from Joburg.
No. I think we never had that conversation.
I think everyone thinks I'm from Joburg. I think my vibe does say Joburg.
Yeah.
Everyone always thinks I'm from Joburg.
So you grew up in Gugulethu.
Yeah.
And then did you go to school here in Cape Town?
Yeah, Cape Town through and through. So I lived here for 37 years, but lived all over the world as well.
Okay. And what did you study?
I've never studied. I'm on my 19th gap year. I have a master's in gap years. I've got my doctorate. I got my doctorate in gap years.
That's incredible. So you basically left school and went into the creative space. Is that how it all
No, I started when I was about 9 years old. I traveled the world with a show called Les Miserables. And then I was doing commercials and working, but I did speech and drama from like age 6, 7. They complained that I was that I was disruptive in class. And then my mother was like, we're not putting him in Ritalin, we're going to put him in drama. So I did sports and drama.
What a powerful woman. You speak about her a lot. And I know that you've lost your mom recently. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
And what has life been like since that?
Life after my mother's been hell on earth. It's been, you lose your will to live. And that sounds like a cliche kind of a thing. But like, there is something about living in a world without your compass, without your guide. But I think what she was able to instill in me is the unconscious self-belief. Like a real kind of like you're amazing even at your worst. But I'm literally walking around every day at about 20% of myself. Yeah. But luckily that my core values are consistency, excellence, and discipline.
And I guess you draw a lot from the amazing lessons that she's taught you and living with that.
But I think it's hell. And if you have your mother and you have your father, you have no idea. It's just I think if she hadn't given me the fundamentals of that kind of doing your best is second nature, I think I would be a backpack in Asia with a big beard and walking around, and I'd be
lost.
I definitely would be, because I am lost. With or without the basicness of what she gave me. But I think it's about that thing of her going, you know what I mean? We always do our best. We always do, we always gotta show them how great we are, and we always gotta make sure that you succeed so much that they hate you. And that's always my goal.
I'm sorry that you're going through that. And I think that, only living in the moment day by day is how to move through. And there's, it's really hard. So I can't relate because I've not gone through something like that, but I can say that I'm empathetic towards it.
Thank you.
And you said from 9 years old, you started in like film. Did you, what was that experience like as such a young child getting into the space?
I think I played sport from an early age, and I watch a lot of like rugby at the moment. They're playing the under-20 Rugby World Cup at the moment, and I see these young boys who are just playing rugby, and the question is, are they still enjoying it? And I think school level sport and stuff like that these days lacks enjoyment, and it lacks the kind of the fundamentals to be able to make mistakes without the whole world watching you. So I think a lot of those boys are going to pay the price of going from an early age, having this crazy goal and not being able to have fun. For me, I was traveling the world with musicals and acting around the world, and having a good time. Like, I was just like, oh my goodness, traveling. Oh my goodness. Oh, performing at Nelson Mandela's birthday party. Oh, that's Nelson Mandela. Oh, let's have lunch with Nelson. So I really enjoyed it. So even now, like, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the process of like preparing and really, really knuckling down to prepare and create something, Yeah,
what is your process when you are preparing? So if you land a role like for The Woman King or Invictus, Long Walk to Freedom, these films that you do, how do you get into your character? What's your process?
For me, I think I just want to be as much as possible. I want to be in the moment. I don't do any of that, like method stuff. But like Woman King, for 6 months, we were gymming. When we were not on set, we were gymming. When we were not on set, we were doing... we were doing stunt training. So like sometimes for me, it's a great question, because for me, I think there's only so many kind of characters you can play and play them differently. I do think I try to find a part of me in each character. The Woman King, for example, he was just a guy, a normal guy, who was very, very pro-equality, but he didn't know that even he had a problem with women being in armies. But then when he got to the point when he saw the woman as equal, he was like, okay, cool, wait a minute, we're on the same team here. And I took parts of me being like openly against GBV. I'm a godfather. I'm like at the moment I'm busy disciplining my niece. So those aspects of him go in there. So I think sometimes people spend so much time trying to create characters when actually you have bits and pieces of them inside of you. Like, it's the same as another thing. This is going to sound like a weird detour, but a lot of women love to use words like, he's a narcissist. Oh my God, he's such a narcissist. Toxic. I think it's a big call to call someone a narcissist. I think people have narcissistic traits, but to call someone a narcissist, there's a lot of things that need to be ticked to call them a narcissist. But I think a lot of women currently feel like they just learned that word. People are toxic and everyone's a narcissist. But in characters, there are little bits and pieces that you have that maybe you might just heighten. You know what I mean? If he's shy, when I walk into a room, I'm always confident, but there's a part of me that is shy, that I have to scope out the room. You know what I mean? So I take that small little bit of me that is shy and I just grow it for that particular character. You know what I mean? So we all have traits that are certain things, and then I just take particular traits of me and make them bigger to be able to fit into a particular character.
It takes great awareness to get to that point because you truly know yourself then, right? A lot of people go through life, but they're not aware of these like little traits, like having that shyness or... So I think being an actor, you need to be able to be very self-aware.
I think if you're an actor and you can't listen and you're not self-aware, you will struggle. But there are tricks to be able to act like you are self-aware and that you can listen.
Okay. How did you learn these things? Was it on set or did you have some formal training?
No, I've never had formal training. I make a lot of mistakes. I don't mind failing. My biggest lessons are in failure, as cliche as that seems and sounds. And I think my biggest drive is I just want to prove people wrong. I think I'm 37, turning 38.
You don't look it.
Thank you. I'm at the age of really not caring if people like me or not. I have my cool group of people that I'm happy with. And I'll be polite, I'll be civil. Just don't fuck with me and I won't fuck with you. And if you do fuck with me, you'll see another side of me. Yeah, man. So move along, try to do my thing. And I'm always just trying to learn lessons. Like that's why I love traveling. I travel to learn about myself. And I travel to meet myself. Yeah. That's
powerful. I also love that with travel. It just really opens your mind and brings these new experiences that shape you. So someone with such diverse talents, so you... From comedy, acting, presenting, how do you balance and nurture each of these different creative facets?
I think everything that I do, which is acting, comedy, presenting, just the people who are behind the camera as well. It's anything to do in this industry is about truth. So, for example, if the director or the film guy put a gigantic dildo here, people watching at home will be able to like, why is that there? Because it's not truthful. Because we're not talking about sex toys. Yeah. So it wouldn't fit there. And I think anything to do with film or entertainment is just about truth. Yeah. And I think everything that I do in entertainment is about truth. And the easiest way to be able to entertain people is a conflict between... it's always truthful, and as soon as it's untruthful, you'll be like, wait, something's weird there.
It's a bit of a...
So there's something weird there.
Yeah.
But for me, I like the conflict between funny and sad. Or, for example, I feel more creative than I've ever been after losing my mother. Because it's hitting this ultimate low. There's something about it that just makes me feel a little bit like a better creative.
Wow, that's incredible. It's almost like experience gives you the knowledge to become this person.
But I have a lot to learn and I have a lot to fail, and I'm keen and willing to make as many mistakes as possible.
That's a great mindset. I mean, even for anyone listening or watching, you have to make those mistakes. You have to go fail harder, fail faster to be able to move to the next step. Yeah, incredible. I'm really so proud of you for I've been watching your journey, and I love the voice you share to the world, because I think a lot more people need to give less of a fuck.
I faked it for many years, not giving a fuck. Like, for example, I'm driving in this little shitty little car, and sometimes when people see me at the traffic lights, they're always like, wait a minute, why are you driving this car? And I'm like, man, cars don't really define me or who I am.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are just so caught up with trying to... I think that's why social media is killing us. Because a lot of people judge their everyday on people's best day. Like, if you're judging... For example, if I had a face full of acne right now and you see me, you see someone else with great skin, none of you go... no one thinks, when he was 13, he had a gigantic acne on his face. You just think of, oh no, look how beautiful their skin is, look how terrible mine is. And you just think about the now. But that's what social media is. I'm so glad I'm not a teenager
growing up that time. Yeah, because people are creating this created self versus a real self, right? Because you're curating a world on social media that's not a complete true reality. And I think that is quite a problem. And I think what I am noticing, though, as we're moving through the social media world, our age group or millennials to Gen Z, I feel like they're more real with like just picking up their phone and speaking directly to camera instead of being curated.
Yeah, I think even COVID did help that a lot. I think COVID helped us to realize, do what you got to do, as real as possible. Do it now, be consistent. But we come from this generation of really curate, perfection. And obviously now, and I don't think it's actually their fault. I think those young ones, that 3 years of COVID really did change things.
I think so, for me as well. I think that real you wants to just be, and again, not care so much about how it's going to land. So we spoke a bit about, the achievements you've had through your acting career and the films you've done. Is there any film or something that you've done in your creative space that really stands out for you and that has really changed you?
I think it's easy for me to talk about the big ones. I did a short film once called Dear Sister, and it was just about sex trafficking. And I've never been so crazy and obsessed over the girl who played my sister who was lost. For me, it's on YouTube. It's not many people saw it. But yeah, that was for me definitely one of the best that I've done.
I definitely want to see that.
It's just a short little film called Dear Sister. I think it's like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes.
Okay, we'll also put a link here so people can... No, it sounds interesting. I wanna watch it. So comedy.
Yeah.
Tell me more. You're a comedian. Is this something that you always...
I haven't done comedy in like five years or so.
Is it something you want to continue doing?
I'm going back right now. I'm writing a show about masculinity and losing my mother. There's a lot of things I want to say and talk about. I don't think society talks enough about grief. I don't think society talks enough about... I think society spends a lot of time attacking masculinity. They don't spend enough time trying to talk and seeing how we can fix masculinity. I think headlines definitely, anti-masculinity is definitely, sells papers. But actually the enemy is toxic masculinity. The world needs masculinity. Masculinity is a beautiful thing. And I just want to talk about masculinity and
how can we fix masculinity?
I don't think masculinity needs to be fixed. I think toxic masculinity is the one that needs to be...
Agreed.
I think we got to talk about the fatherless households. We got to talk about making and holding people accountable. We have to, as men, hold other men accountable. But I think, and this is going to sound like I'm making an excuse for masculinity, but listen to this quickly. So men come from pack mentality of hunting mammoths, going together, team sports. And when someone messes up in a team, you don't scream at them. You don't single them out, right? So if you were hunting mammoths, you wouldn't go, what are you doing? No, you would address it in a team. But the way the world disciplines now, we cancel. So now women are expecting men to cancel other men, but actually we don't have that in us. That's not in our DNA. Our DNA is to be in packs and do things and call each other one-on-one. But actually, we're not good at holding each other accountable. Like, for example, I had an altercation with my niece recently, and it's my duty to hold her accountable. Right?
Completely.
And for me, to hold myself accountable, other men accountable. So I think we've got to find a way. So they talk about how a lot of men struggle with therapy because in therapy, they just talk, listen, talk for a while. But men actually want solutions. We're solution-based. We want to go, how can you help, kind of a thing. But actually, talking about it is part of the solution. So I think we've got to start rewording things, rephrasing things, finding different ways to approach them. And I don't think men are going to change by being changed by women. I think men need to help change men. I think
I agree.
No man is. A woman's not going to go to a man and go, "Be a better man," and he's going to go, "Wait a minute, I think you're right." It needs to be other men speaking to other men.
And that's why the idea of men's circles, men's groups is something safe spaces for people to come together and really men to come together and talk about these things together and be open about it. Also be vulnerable, be allowed to cry, be allowed to share really difficult things. And I think women do that a lot already. Like we have these friend circles, you can call up your friends, speak for hours and talk about everything. But I don't feel like men have that space, or they do, but not a lot of them are doing it.
Yeah, I think we got to be able to find, it's going to be fashionable. I want this. I want it fashionable for good guys finishing first early. Don't let good guys finish first only when you finish with the bad guys, dear ladies. I feel like men should make it unfashionable for rape jokes, for whistling at women. We got to call each other out and call yourself out. Accountability, consistency and accountability is needed.
100%.
I think in packs and in groups, in WhatsApp groups, you must call men out for sharing content that we're not talking about. Now, here's another thing. We're not looking for perfect men. Because if you're looking for a perfect man and you're a woman, find me a perfect woman first. We're looking for men to hold each other and themselves accountable. That's what we're looking for. And me, I mess up every day. And I try to hold myself accountable. The friends in my life, the women in my life hold me accountable. But I think that's it. I think we need men to hold each other accountable and make it fashionable to be good. But let the good guy finish first.
It's reminding me of this book that I read, which was The Four Agreements by, I forget his name, something Ruiz, but he talks about the four agreements, and the last one is always do your best, because no matter what happens, you will fuck up, you will have like times where, you do something, but just always do your best. Show up as that best person, but have that self-awareness to be able to acknowledge that you've done something wrong and then fix it and move. So this is what we're talking about, is like this self-awareness, but also doing your best. Yeah. Nice. I like where you're going. We're going to start these men group. We're going to start it.
Yeah, I have a plan. I would love to do a man conference. Men show up with their sons, their young cousins, and it's only men. And we have talks, we have rooms. For example, listen to this. My dad died before I started shaving. So there was no one to teach me how to shave. Small things.
Yeah.
Like imagine you had your period and you had no female influence.
Yeah.
How are you going to navigate that? And I think a lot of boys go through very big moments in their lives without people to be there to help them navigate them.
Also, just if you do lose your dad, how do you know how to treat a woman if there's no male figure in your life showing you how to...
But on the same hand, people forget that it's not just men who are fathers, there's other father
figures, of course, yeah. But if they lack any other kind of, maybe not a grandfather or uncle, if they don't have that, then again, that space would be really good. So alongside your career, and you've also become a social media sensation. Love your content. I like it because it's authentic and it's real and it's funny and that's encompassing you.
But interestingly, because it's so real and because it's in your face and brutal and blunt, I'll lose just as many followers as I receive. Do you know what I mean? I'll never be the kind of person on social media who has 100 million followers or 1 million, because I'm just in your face. You know what I mean? And I think there's only so much.
I don't think you'd have it any other way though, because I feel like you would be blocking a part of yourself.
I'm very happy with
that. Also, I don't think it's about followers.
No.
I think it's about just being you.
But I'm an acquired taste. I say I'm an acquired taste like sushi, oysters, and anal sex. Not everyone...
Love that for you.
Not everyone loves anal sex. Not everyone likes sushi, and not everyone likes oysters. But some people who love them absolutely are crazy about them.
I love sushi and oysters.
Yeah.
Crickets.
Wow. Okay.
So, how do you actually use social media to connect to your audience and share your brand?
I just speak. If you don't agree, unfollow, or move to the next Insta story, or block me.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you had a lot of that?
Lots of people block me, lots of people unfollow me. Come on now. I believe if everyone loves you, you're doing fuck all with your life.
I agree. I really, really agree. You also have quite a voice on the political situation in South Africa. And
I hear so. I believe I'm not political. I believe I'm South African.
Yes.
I'm proudly South African.
And I think you share good points. Like, what are your views on our current political situation?
I think we're fucked. And I think a lot of people refuse to admit it. I think if I had a drug addiction, I would only be able to fix it if I admit I have a problem. I think admitting that we're in trouble doesn't mean you're anti-South Africa. Like, people see us, people saying we have a problem. People go, oh, you're not a patriot. No, we have a problem. Like, if I had cancer in my leg, I either cut off the leg or cut off the cancer so we can deal with it. I think we need to unite as a people, and we need to come together and realize that we have a problem. It needs to be fixed. But we don't really know how to unite. Yeah. People call me political. I'm not political. Saying I'm political, people say that all the time. I believe every South African needs to have an opinion. With our history, how can you not be involved? I find it so, I don't talk politics. I don't talk politics. That's like living in the middle of the ocean and saying you don't talk water.
I agree. And also, but the thing is, like you said, we are aware that we have a problem here in this country. But people talk, right? No one's really taking action. And I think for me personally, I don't know what that action is.
I think, that's the difficulty. The difficulty part of it. For example, there was the thing about the deputy president's VIP protection beating up some civilians. If that was France, they would have been burning stuff. I think we're a bit like a flaccid penis. Cool, looks good, but can it stand? Can it take a stand? And I'm not saying the flaccid penis needs a blue pill, because obviously people will think I'm talking DA politics, but I'm not talking about DA. But I do feel like unity should make us stand.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think we need strategies to unite. And I think because things are so fucked up at the moment, it's kind of hard to see or navigate through that.
We need to coordinate.
Yes.
We need to coordinate.
Let's coordinate.
But I do think we're on a sinking ship. I think we're in a sinking ship, and I think we should... when I say sinking ship, I don't mean it's not resolvable. I think there was an iceberg.
We hit it.
Everyone was saying there's an iceberg. We were warned there's an iceberg. We hit it. Then we realized there's not enough lifeboats. Then the rich were jumping on the lifeboats.
Titanic all over again.
They were all not letting the poor on. And the masses are the ones that suffered. The masses can only jump on the ship afterwards. But while the ship is sinking, the rich are still going into different safes and stealing gold and stealing all the valuables and looting the country dry.
Yeah,
it's a great analogy.
It is a great analogy, especially since Titanic's been in the news lately.
That whole Titanic thing pissed me off. How people are making jokes of people's death, but it shows you how fucked up the world is.
Yeah, the internet's pretty fucked up. But I
miss the days when the internet was just for porn, and now it's for such brutalness.
I mean, what was how old were you when we started using the internet?
I can remember dial-up.
Oh yeah.
Then you used to sit there and
Using your floppy disk.
Trying to watch porn while it's going zzz.
How old were you?
Hey, I was young.
Nice. You want to go back a bit into your dancing. You're a great dancer. Where does this come from?
No, I just love
Can you
moving.
show us a move?
Good luck. I know, I think they're much better dancers than me. I just love to move, and I think sometimes you just got to dance and don't care what people think, really.
Like no one's watching.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. So we spoke a little bit about this, but what advice would you give to creatives or entrepreneurs that are trying to get into the industry? And also what I want to talk to you about is the creative industry in South Africa and equal opportunities. I want to know your viewpoints on this.
I think if you're a creative, you have a cell phone, you have access to the internet and data. There's no reason why you can't be creating content on your phone. I know people who are multi-millionaires now with just creating content on their phone. If you're an actor, shoot student films on cameras or phones. It's a lot more accessible. Be consistent, be vulnerable. Don't necessarily reinvent the wheel. Everything has been done, to be truthfully honest, but just challenge yourself, make yourself uncomfortable. There's no growth in the comfort zone. Pressure builds diamonds. Just get out there. Don't make excuses about why you're not successful.
Yeah.
And opening up the industry, what are you talking about?
So I'm saying in terms of South Africa and do you feel like there's equal opportunities at the moment? How do you see the landscape for creatives, especially for the masses?
I think it's difficult. I think people went through 3 years of, 2.5, 3 years of COVID and lockdown. So currently, I don't think big corporates or big agencies or directors are willing to risk on newcomers at the moment. For example, I've done a lot of work. They go, oh, we know Siv can do it. Let's book Siv.
Yeah.
It's difficult for people who are starting. I know it's very, very difficult. But create your own content.
Yeah.
Keep on pushing. Just create content, have side gigs, side hustles, and just do your thing. Like, people start somewhere. Like, there's just no excuse not to be creating.
How do you deal with, trolls?
Oh, trolls, I love them. They fuel me. They push me. Polls push me. Like, every time I want to share some good news, I'm so excited. I'm going to share them, motherfucker. I'm so excited. I love the haters. They push me, man. I'm, when I share something new, I love the haters. And I want to be so successful that they hate me. I want them to talk around the dinner table about me and how shit I am and why do I have all the jobs.
My dad always used to say, if they're not talking about you, then you should be worried.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing that I know, I've never had a person who's more successful than me say bad things about me. The only
that says a lot.
Only
right?
people. For example, when I'm gymming and I go into the men's changing room, I've never had a guy with a better body tell me I have a shit body, or say, you know what I mean? No, only people who are below you. Only people who are below you can bring you down.
Because there's a part of them that they see that they haven't faced yet.
Yeah. So for me, fuck them all. I can't wait.
Cheers, guys.
I'm always ready. I'm always ready.
I've noticed your Superman phone cover and ring. Is that... Tell me more.
It stands for Siv, but I can understand why you would think it's...
I mean, it looks like Superman.
Yeah, I know. It is for Superman. I've always been obsessed with the brand of Superman. Just that, he can be a guy wearing glasses and just be this everyday guy, but internally you know that he's this beast of a man.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great analogy of masculinity. Yeah. You can be an everyday... At the end of the day, no one's asking men to be weak. We need strong men. There's a reason why we have more testosterone. There's a reason why we're faster. There's a reason why we're stronger. There's a reason why. I don't know, people shouldn't change that about society. But there needs to be that side where he can be that vulnerable, loving father or that vulnerable, loving brother or cousin. And that's the beauty I love about Superman. He's strong, but still vulnerable.
The idea of masculinity and this path that you're on right now of creating this awareness around positive masculinity and not toxic, where does this stem from?
I think I've messed up so much. I think I've I think I've been toxic long enough. I think it's easy for men to see a man or men gang raping a girl and murdering a girl, and then men going, oh my God, disgusting, these monsters. But they didn't wake up one day and just think, I'm going to rape a girl. There were little things that just happened that created that monster. It's the same as like, no one wakes up and says, I'm going to do tick today. I've never met a tick addict who doesn't drink.
Yeah.
You will not meet a tick addict who doesn't drink. It starts somewhere and it's it's just a lot of things happen. I'm not saying alcohol, I'm just saying is that everyone has things that they do that lead them to that particular thing. And I think a lot of men, it's easy to point fingers and go, he's a monster. And then it's not easy. It's the same as, he's a narcissist.
Yes.
But at no moment do you go, wait a minute, do I have narcissistic traits? I know I do. I know I have toxic traits. I'd be lying if I didn't.
Yeah. So, I mean, I went to this talk, it was really random, but it was getting into the mind of a serial killer. I couldn't stomach it. I had to walk out halfway through because I'm a very sensitive person. So, like, anything graphic or even listening to it just shakes me a little bit. And they were, like, the stories that she covered, she's written a book, they're doing a Netflix documentary about it. She spoke only about men serial killers, and I was the question I had is like, where's the woman serial killers?
There's not many of them.
No, there's not many. And she spoke about, this is the one question that I asked before I left, and she said that it's because, like you said, they built differently. So men have that power to kill, whereas a woman doesn't necessarily have that within her to take life.
Women have predominantly crimes of passion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't have that testosterone to It was very fascinating. I mean, it's the first time like putting myself into that world and trying to understand it. But the thing that stood out was men. And also for me, like only turning 30, like going in now, I'm learning about this masculinity and femininity and toxic masculinity, because I also grew up in a very reserved upbringing, a traditional upbringing. And so you're not open to these roles and dynamics and stuff like that. Yeah.
Sure.
It's very interesting. So I wanted to ask you how you deal with rejection.
I've been in the industry since I was 9. Rejection is part of it. A couple of them sting here and there. But the analogy I always say to young actors is pretend like you have a light inside of your chest, and when you walk into an audition, show them your light. And when you walk out, just close it. Because if you leave it open for too long, that's when you get hurt. Yeah. Occasionally, one of them, a few ones hurt there, here and there. I've had a couple of one hurts just recently, and you just got to push on and just believe that great things are coming your way.
When one door closes, another one opens.
As cliche as it sounds.
As cliche as it sounds. Can you tell me a joke?
Nah. You would have to pay.
How much are we talking?
I charge from 1 minute to 30 minutes.
Okay, what's your price tag?
I'm quite expensive.
Okay. Fine, we'll just talk about your nieces and nephews then. You are an uncle. I saw your nephews on your Instagram story. The one was asking, why don't you have a girlfriend?
Oh yeah, that's my close friend's kids.
Okay,
my nephews. Yeah.
Okay, well, he was wondering why you don't have a girlfriend, and then you were just, they were calling you out.
I'm trying to teach. Actually, I was with my Musima Mani's son the other day, and he says to me, I said to him, hey, we're watching a show. And I was like, everyone in this hall is my age. And then he was like, wow, and you don't have kids or married. What a sad life. And then afterwards I said to him, I was like, having a kids, as much as I want kids, but being married shouldn't be a goal,
totally.
An achievement. I think we live in a world where everyone thinks marriage is an achievement. No, bro. I'll never get married. Yeah. Absolutely never get married.
You won't get married?
It looks like the worst thing ever.
It does sound like the worst thing ever,
It looks ridiculous. I do not believe in marriage. Never, ever have, never, ever will. I think humans are forcing it. I think it's not for everyone. I think for some people, yes. They're like, but our parents had kak, but they just didn't talk about it.
But do you not want a pretty ceremony, a party, a celebration of love?
I do not want to walk down any aisle.
You don't have to walk down an aisle. You can have a ceremony.
I don't want to walk down 5 meters to talk with a woman to tell her I love her forever. I will not promise any woman I'll love her forever. And I think that's a big decision if you are, and each to their own. And when it fails, people are like, I wonder what happened. I don't think everyone's meant to get married.
Yeah.
We're not Egyptians.
Yeah, but it's okay to carve your own path. And
agreed. I think people do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
And you want kids. That's so sweet. How many?
I just want healthy kids.
Nice.
I'll adopt if I have to.
I love that. I also want to adopt. I think it will be really nice to. But I also want kids. I just want 2 though. That's it. End.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I think, 2 sounds good.
Yeah.
1, 2.
But yeah, you have this really sweet way with dealing with kids through your Instagram. I think I
love kids. Kids can see your soul.
They're also so free. And
they're like dogs. Dogs can see.
Dogs can see. They
can feel. Yeah. And kids as well. They're like, hey, you don't seem like a bad guy.
Do you have dogs? Do you have pets?
No, I don't have pets. My only pet is my cell phone. And having to charge it every day is a mission.
Because you're on it 24/7.
24/7.
Do you take a break from social media?
No, I don't.
Ever?
No.
Would you say you are addicted to your phone?
Addiction means that I wouldn't be able to put it down right now to have an interview with you.
Well, I feel very special, thank you.
Yeah.
If you had a superpower for a day, what would it be and how would you use it?
I want to fly. I just want to fly.
That's a good superpower. I would want to teleport.
Yeah, see, teleport, fly, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing about teleporting, you can't feel it.
True, it's instantaneous.
Yep.
Yeah. That's true.
It's like what's it called? What do they call it again? When you have money in your account and then suddenly you pay a bill and it's gone.
Yeah, it's like payday and then the next week you're
Sons of
broke.
bitches.
What's your favorite country that you visited ever?
Out-of-body experience. Cried walking out the airplane. I cried walking out the airport when I saw Havana, Cuba for the first time.
I'm dying to go there.
Japan, New York, favorite cities in the world. Favorite beach island life would be Vietnam.
Okay. Yeah, Japan's top of my list. Morocco.
Yeah. Morocco I love, except for the racists.
Are there a lot of racists?
Moroccans think they are not African, but someone needs to tell them that they're very African. I'm going to Egypt next week for some work. And I've got a feeling I'm going to have to remind many Egyptians that you are African fuckers because they refuse to admit that they're African.
What do they call themselves?
Arab Africans. Because even during when Morocco was in the semi-finals, they were like, we want to thank all our Arabs for that. And we're like, we are supporting you. What about us? No, racist as fuck.
How do you deal with racism?
I have no time to deal with racists. If you don't want to get to know me because of the color of my skin, you're missing out on an incredible, unbelievable human being. I have no fight for racists. Oh my God. Racist on my thing. Like for me, it's different because I think racists are fighting against such a big group of person. But for me, I take people marginalizing minorities personally. Like I'm more up for fighting people who discriminate against the queer community, that's a minority, or women. Women are not a minority, but they are physically inferior to men. So I like, but us blacks, there's enough of us in the world to defend ourselves. So I think I'm not there for racism. I'm like, you're missing a black.
But also, I feel like it's so like we came through that now.
I don't think we've ever come through racism. I think racists have always been there.
No, I agree, but I'm saying like it was so big in our worlds and you. I
have no time for racists.
You spoke about being in the queer community.
I'm not I'm not in the queer community, but I'm definitely involved with them a lot.
Okay, good. And the dress up that you do, can we talk a bit about that?
I do drag.
Thank you. Love the heels.
Oh, thank you. I do drag and I love wearing heels. And I love I love wearing heels that others couldn't possibly wear because they're 9, 8
Yeah,
inch.
they're really big.
I'm quite competitive if you haven't noticed.
I can
Sometimes
tell.
I do things because others can't do them. That's
So, by the way, Kate wanted to bring a poll here for you to.
Amazing. Everyone wants to do that. Everyone's always like, oh, Sav, we have a great campaign idea. It's unbelievable.
It's not even a campaign idea. It's more a dance.
There was like, we're thinking of Siv emceeing the events, and then he strips down in his clothes and he's jumping on a pole. Every client, we have a great idea. You walk in as your drag character. I say, it takes me 3 hours. Okay, cool. I don't want to shave my beard. Okay, cool. We create a video of you in drag. Okay, then you take off all your clothes. You jump on the pole in your heels. I usually say no every time.
Good for you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because that's your thing. That's your space.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's what you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Don't take it away from me. So what do you think of my heels?
They're great.
Thank you.
I wouldn't own them because they're like 1 inch.
Yeah, they're too short for you.
There's no competition there. It's just like...
I can't walk in high heels, so it's like...
And then people think that heels are ankles, but they're not. Heels are core. You walk using your... You walk using this.
Yeah.
People were like...
But my core's not that strong.
Then you're trouble.
Yeah, I'm in trouble. But also, like, since COVID, nobody really wears heels anymore. You know, like, if I'm going out, also moving to Cape Town changed my dress sense when you go out, because no one... I mean, you can literally go to the shops in your pajamas.
Yeah, you get yoga pants.
The athleisure. I live in athleisure. It's a vibe. Yeah. So, Siv, I want to know if you are a reader. Do you read books?
That's a great question. I'm not a reader. But what I do is I always put content on reading subtitles. So I always, even if it's English, subtitles are on. Forces me to read.
That's a good strategy.
Do you know whose idea that was? Musima Mani's wife. And it has helped me improve my reading profusely.
Okay. So if people are lazy to read a book, put your subtitles on.
Yep. And then your eyes will always go down. I'm not a fan of films with subtitles.
Yeah, because it's the art that you need to...
But I don't mind looking down for other things. Like for example, they go mesmerizing music. If I was deaf, I wouldn't know what the fuck mesmerizing music sounds like. You know what I mean? He coughs. You never heard someone cough? How would you know how he sounds? So they always put it in there, and I'm like, there's some deaf guys going mesmerizing music. What the fuck is that?
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Things I think of.
Yeah. What's happening now? What are you currently working on?
I'm shooting a Netflix TV show. Come out end of the year. I have an Amazon Prime TV show. I'm producing and acting in 2 Amazon films. Man, I'm just trying to collect haters, man. That's what I'm trying.
Can you share any more about these projects?
No, none
of
it.
Okay, that's fine.
No.
Do you you also have your own company?
Yes, I have a few companies.
Yes. Can we talk about those?
So I am a shareholder in an IT company called Infinetics. I am a shareholder in a hair loss company called Ambam. I am a shareholder in a company that takes over companies and rebuilds them called Maps Ventures. Maps is involved in that. I have a workout company called Jeff Fitness that I am a shareholder in that. And then, there's one company. Oh yeah, I own a gym called Base Camp Gym.
Okay.
When movies are done in South Africa and there's anyone from the company that wants to work out who's a celebrity, they book out our company for 6-7 months. So every time of production, actually now we have Viola Davis at our thing right now, so it's a company that we started because of COVID actually.
That's incredible.
Now so those are companies I own.
How do you balance your time between acting, now your comedy that you spoke about, and then your entrepreneurial
I'm
ventures?
quite selfish with my time. Like I'm gonna leave here, go for a haircut, ride my motorbike. I'm gonna sleep for an hour and a half, eat something. Then I'm gonna go watch Tamir tonight. I'm great at. People like to say some bullshit like, Beyonce has the same 24 hours we do. No, she doesn't. She has a team of 60 people. I am great. None of those companies, I am the person on the ground.
Okay.
So I'm able to have incredible people around me, surrounding me, helping me do what I know my strengths. Admin is not my strength. I can woo people. I come up with concepts. I can do the marketing. But when it comes to on the ground admin, no, I don't do admin for any of my companies.
So you know your strengths and you work on
Yeah.
those, and then you divide your time according to what you are best at doing.
And I own a sanitary pad company. So I'm opening up a factory in October. In September called and I own a charity called the Menstruation Foundation. And then we open up a separate company to open up a sanitary pad factory to distribute Africa's cheapest sanitary pad, a 350 pack of 10.
That's incredible.
But even in all of those, I just have the right team around me.
The right people.
Yeah.
And do you have any advice for people that are looking to be an entrepreneur, getting into the entrepreneurial space?
I don't know. I don't know.
I love that look. I don't know.
Entrepreneurship won't give you freedom. It will make you work harder. You will work harder. Surround yourself with the right people. Don't be scared to collab. And make mistakes. Make mistakes and make more mistakes and make more mistakes. And in a country like South Africa, it's one of the easiest countries to start a company. We're a few years behind everyone else. So if you go on the internet and you see what America's doing or what Japan is doing, there's ideas, there's concepts.
Yeah,
don't
there's
reinvent
a
the wheel.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is something that people don't know about you? Your followers, your...
What people don't know about me, I am an introverted extrovert. I love my own space. I'll never get married. I'm open about that. And I am the most disciplined person you'll ever meet.
Yeah, I like what you were saying, that your day is like a day in the life of Siv Ngesi. It's very structured. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, but there will never be a day that's the same.
Yes, obviously, because you're so dynamic with what you're doing. And also what I wanted to ask you is, we spoke about this offset and you said that you don't party a lot. I kind of admire that, because I think living in Cape Town, you can get very caught up in this party scene that exists here. You know, summer never ends here.
Yeah, I think I partied too young, man.
When did you stop drinking?
I've never touched alcohol in my life.
It's incredible.
I'm 38 this year. I've never drank alcohol. Never will. But I'm not a big partier. I prefer going to parties when someone's paying me to be there, or it's a friend's birthday. But then I'm the guy who leaves without saying goodbye.
Yeah,
I'm the kind of guy who likes, if I have six things in a night, I'm cool with that, because then I can just jump around.
You just ninja bomb.
Yeah, I'm a ninja bomber.
He's a ninja bomber.
Ninja bomber. But I make sure I greet everyone. They're like, Siv was here. I wonder where Siv? I could be in the toilet.
He's gone, bye. If you could collaborate or have dinner, rather, let's ask that. If you could have dinner with any comedian, actor, artist, living or deceased, who would it be and why?
Muhammad Ali, for sure. Muhammad Ali. Just discipline, flair, consistency, fought people's rights, and told people how great he was. I'm all about that. I believe in humility, but you must let a motherfucker know how great you are. I have my mother. I'll have my mother for dinner.
What would you eat?
Would go to... my mother would go to Cafe Paradiso, and she would message me and tell me how great I am and how amazing I am. And then she would say, thank you so much for the scrumptious meal. And then I would... Who else? Nelson Mandela. I've already had lunch with him. Performed for his birthday when I was 10. And we had a long lunch. So I leave Nelson. I already spoken to him. Who else? Who else fascinates me? I think people are so interested. Actually, wait. I would love my grandfather. My grandfather treated me like I was a little god from the day I was born. And he used to treat me like I was so special. And I was never able to be able to give back to him. So I think that would be, I think I'm more interested in the people who were involved in creating greats.
I love that.
I think sometimes you get like, people are always like, oh my goodness, Siv, you're amazing. I'm like, no, you should have met my mother. You should have met my mother. Because you know what my mother used to do? My mother used to, and I said this to Hussein Bolt. I actually met Hussein Bolt at the JMB Met, and I said to him, I told his best friend this, and then his best friend went to tell Hussein, and Hussein called me to come tell him. I told him my mother used to save money for 4 years to get DSTV, because we couldn't afford it during, and then she used to make us watch the Olympics. Like, she used to mark there, 100-meter race. She used to watch the big races, and she used to be like, now, watch them. They've trained for 4 years, their entire lives. This race is going to last under 10 seconds. And she used to drill that into us. Like, she used to absolutely drill into us. So for me, I just think the people who are involved in creating the greats. And then again, to be great, you need luck. People don't talk about that enough. How many people are walking? Try and tell me, with 85% of the country being poor, how many kids are walking around with potential to be greats?
So many.
But they were just lucky to be born where they are. Yeah.
I love that. Incredible. I really, really like that. So,
And then I want, lastly, and then what I'm going to say, if I haven't said enough things that have shocked you, I would love to have lunch or supper with the man I have the potential to become. Because I'll never meet him, and I fucking know he's going to be great. And I know that in many more years to come, he would have learned many more lessons. That's the guy I want to meet. And I don't believe in religion, but my definition of hell is at my deathbed, meeting the man I could have become if I just worked harder and took every opportunity possible. Imagine you're about to die and the guy you could have become, or the woman you could have become, comes in and says, girl, if you had just taken that opportunity to move to Mumbai and take off your mother's, but imagine what could have happened. And that's my definition of hell. So when I'm about to die, the man that I meet, I want him to be the man I have the potential to become. But yeah.
that's an incredible lesson and thought to have moving through. And it's something I thought about the other day, where I was just driving and I was like, what would I say if I was younger, but I had the thought and process and everything I have right now, but I had that when I was 20. Like how much more I could have done. And that kind of made me happy in a way, because I was like, well, I am doing that now. And it's the youngest we'll ever be, right? This is the youngest we're ever going to be.
Yeah. There's a lady there washing windows next door over there. And I think the only way us humans can actually cope is by thinking that woman washing windows has no dreams, has no ambitions, and never had. That's the only way we can cope as humans. Because if we took on every bit of people's different concerns, we'll never be able to live our lives. But that woman cleaning windows over there, she's gone now, has dreams, has ambitions, and doesn't want to do this her entire life. But we humans, you know what I mean? Like, I think 9-to-5s kill more dreams than failure ever has. Doubt has killed more dreams than failure ever has. So yeah.
To end off, because that was super powerful, and I feel like so many people can take from that. Your name, Sivuyile.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
We are happy. So my mom had a daughter, and then they got a boy, and then they said, we are happy. How can you not be successful when they call you, we are happy that you were born?
And on that note, I am happy and grateful that you've taken time to come out and be on Undeniably You. I think you are the definition of being undeniably yourself. And it's such a privilege to see you again and to speak to you in this time and space. And I'm looking forward to everything else you do.
Thank you.
And I'm watching in awe. So yeah, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And we end by blowing a kiss to the camera. You don't have to. This season, we are changing it up. We are shooting at the iconic Bengley Place and Villa Ravenstein. These amazing locations are managed by Mikasa Property Management. Mikasa Property Management is a luxury holiday rental management company based in Camps Bay, Cape Town. They give homeowners and landlords in Cape Town freedom by taking all aspects of management off their hands while maximizing their rental property income. We feel that vibe all night.